The following video will look at the integration between CathexisVision and Paxton. There are three areas that need to be set up in order for this integration to function. The first one is the Net2 access control software, the second one is the Cathexis Paxton wrapper, and the third one is the CathexisVision NVR setup. Before starting, it is important to note that the Net2 access control software and the Paxton wrapper need to be installed on the same computer. We will be using the Net2 software to create a user called OEM client, through which we will be communicating with the Paxton software. Once you are in the Net2 access control software, navigate to the Net2 operators panel. Here you will create a user called OEM client. Note that the password must also be OEM client, but with lowercase and no spaces. We use the wrapper application to handle communication between Paxton and the Cathexis NVR. The first step is to install the wrapper, like so. Installation is a simple process, and you may simply accept the license agreement and leave all the default settings as they are. Windows might ask you if you want to allow the program to install software on your computer. Click on Yes. After this, click on Finish, and your Paxton wrapper service should be running. You should double check that the service is actually running. To do this, double click on the Paxton wrapper service icon in the tray. Don't close the wrapper after verifying that the service is running, as you now need to add a connection. The connection that you are adding is the IP address that the Paxton data will be sent to. This must be the IP address of the NVR to which the Paxton integration device will be added. After inputting the IP address, input a relevant port. Remember this port number, as you will have to input it when adding the Paxton device to the NVR. After this, click on Add and then click on Apply. The next step is to set up the CathexisVision NVR. You will need to open up CathexisVision, and then open up your site. Once in your site, you will need to open the Setup tab. Within the Setup tab, navigate to Configure Servers. Under the NVR that you will be adding the Paxton device to, open the Integration Devices panel. Click on New Device. This will bring up a list of drivers. Select the Paxton driver and click Next. Give your device a descriptive name and input the port number. Remember, the port number must be the same as the number that you entered into the Paxton wrapper. Once done with this, click Finish. Your device will now appear in the devices list. You still need to connect a database to this device. This is done under the General tab of Integration Devices. Click on Add, give the database a name and size, and select the Paxton driver. Once you have added the database, you can select it from the database list under the Integration Devices panel. You may now configure your added integration device. Under the Object Properties tab, you will be able to see the specific properties of individual door objects, such as their online/offline status, their name, and whether or not they are licensed. Under the Object Configuration tab, you can open the properties of each individual door, and here you can add a camera to it. If this camera is set up for continuous recording each and every time there is an event on this door, there will be an addition to the Cathexis database. Under the Device Events tab, you will be able to see a live list of events being fed to CathexisVision by the Paxton device. These events can also be viewed in the Integration Database. To see the Integration Database, open the Databases tab. Once in the Databases tab, select the database for your integration device. Events triggered by a Paxton door to which you've added a camera, as seen in the previous step, will have a camera symbol next to them. You can double click on this to view the video that was taken at that time. There are also multiple filter options and sorting options available in the database interface to give you all the information that you need. The filter option is a number of different individual filters, such as timestamp, token, ACU, and user. and you may also select the time period over which the filters are run. Multiple filters can be run simultaneously, and to add them, simply click on the green plus. To remove filters, click on the red plus. The Paxton device may also be used to trigger CathexisVision events. Go to the Events panel and add a new event. Give the event a descriptive name, and then under the Triggers tab, click on Standard Triggers and select the Paxton device from the drop-down menu. You may specify individual doors or trigger on any of the doors, and you may also define when the action starts. Click on New to add a trigger. In this example, we will use an access event as the trigger. Add a new rule to the event by clicking New, otherwise it will trigger based on any access event. As you can see, there are multiple options available for these rules. Here we will select Event Type. Under this you have a further set of options as provided by the Paxton device. For example, you can trigger based on an access event, which is the door being forced. The action is the action taken by CathexisVision based on an event trigger. The most common one is to record a camera. Select the camera that you want to record the event and configure it to your wishes, and then click OK. The event has been added. If the selected door is now forced open, an event will trigger and the camera you chose will report to the database. You can view the event in the recording database, where you can view the footage from. You can also view the event in the integration database. Double-clicking on the camera icon in the integration database will pull up the footage of the event.